All right, let's go. Okay.
Okay. Does everyone see my screen?
Yeah.
It's my Figma.
Yes,
Right.
you can click watch stream if you can see.
Okay. Okay. So can everyone see my Chrome tab right now?
Chrome, no. I think you are showing
Ah.
just the screen. Yeah, I think you need to share your desktop.
Okay, I will share. Now I think it is visible, right?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, perfect. So this is what we are trying to flow or trying to explain how I did it. So it is Jordan portfolio. This is a great design, great minimal theme design, and everyone can see how this is like modern ton of white space here. We can see here his temple, just Jordan, and the text fade here at the end. We can see here some about him and parallax images that's sharing here. Also, the text fade here at the end. We can see here horizontal scroll. I think it is pretty design. I like this. And yeah, at the end we have a simple filter, so we don't have much, but everyone is done well. So I think this is something to notice that we don't need to do crazy things to trucks, like to make them look good. Something simple, met like done correctly, it can 100% be great. And now let's jump quickly on Figma. So I will share. I think does Figma visible right now?
It says pause.
Okay.
I
It
think.
is just in this part, right?
Yeah, it says
From the
stream
beginning.
pause. Okay, I think you share again.
Okay. So I'm new to this.
No worries.
Yeah.
Okay, go. Let's
So, okay, perfect. Now we have our Figma file. And yeah, guys, please, if anyone have question or something, let's jump in and feel free to ask anything. Okay, so basically what we have in general when we try to design something or to animate something is a transaction between two states, so state one, state two. And okay, also let's show the results. Okay, let's see if we did the same thing that we showed in the Jordan portfolio. So this is the result that we have. I think it is pretty similar. We have the vertical scroll. We have the horizontal scroll also. As we can see, it's pretty similar to this portfolio. Yeah, sample filter. Okay. So what I like to think about through this, I tried to think about it like two states, as I said before. So this is the first state where we have like I think also naming is something that really important. Name your layers here if you try to animate them, so you understand how everything work with everything. So basically, this is the state 0. So this is the starting of our animation. And what I try to do is design everything. But so what we have here is the preload. This one here. You notice here, this one. But like with opacity 0, so we don't show it in the beginning because the website starts like this with a dark screen. And after this, we have all the layers that create that continue, but so like that we have below this 3 slides. We have all the layers, but like below this slide shows. This is covered by our preload slides, and this the first one here. Let me show you. The first one here, as you see here, the things that okay, these 3 ones are just rectangles. This one we can see it, and here slide 1, slide 2, slide 3. I will share the by the way, I will share the file, the source file with you. Okay. A little bit later. So we have the slides, and as you notice, we have the slides with different height. It's just to mimic the animation here. So we see the left side is starting before the right side. So as you see here. The left side start and the second one, third one. By the way, to achieve this, we can do it just by creating random rectangles. But if you guys try to create and like precise precise rectangles, let's say I use this plugin too much, this one split shape. So if you try to split any shape without like with precise numbers, so we can define how many columns we have. We want 3, and we want the gutter to be the gutter is the spacing between 2 columns. So let's say we want to 8 to have 8 the spacing between them. We can have this directly without any math equations or thinking. So it is really handy to plug in some. And after this, yeah, so we have the slides here that covers our website. We have what we have also here. We have the preloading that it is the logo here. It is, let's say it is the logo. It is 0%, so it is there. After this, we move to the next step. Let's take a look on the prototype, okay? So from this to this, there is nothing changing, but the only thing is this text is visible here. Okay, one click, change to state 1. This is the state 1. This is state 0. And we see that we have 2,400 milliseconds. To be honest, I copied this from Badi work, so shout out to Badi. Okay, so we move to this where we have the logo visible. And now from this to the next stage. And this next stage is this, okay? So we have the background white. I think we can do it. So if we want to have a background on this, we can have it, but just because I have the background for the frame, this, we don't need it here. So we have, actually, we have this here, the design, and it is always here. So it's just beneath or below our layer. And yeah, from this from this to this is just moving from this. So that this is state one and this is state two. Let's open them both and see what changed from the one to two. Okay, there is something here that I want to explain. It is the heading here. Also something here before to jumping to explain how I did this. This is different fonts. If you see, I try to look to multiple fonts to find something similar to the one that Jordan used in the old letter here. So the plugin that can be handy in this, it is the font view, I think name is font view. Let me try font view. Yeah. So I think, yeah, font viewer. This allow you to see the fonts in the bit of size. It is not perfect, to be honest. If we turn this to be bigger, but it can give you like a feeling of the fonts that you used before using them. Also, there is a font manager that I use, this font share. The font share in desktop in Windows. I see pretty similar tools in for Mac for font share. And what this tool helps you with is just seeing your fonts before choosing it. It is easier than selecting from the drop down here, and it's a bit hard. Yeah, let's move to the most important thing. This heading here, as you see, it is separated. So it is not one text, it is separated two letters. And
sorry, Badi, 1 second. Some people say they can't hear you. Can you guys hear him? Rachan says audio gone.
Can you guys hear me?
I still hear you, but anyone else having problems hearing? Oh.
Can you hear me this?
Oh, that's weird. Yeah, that's weird. Maybe
Rachan want to try reconnecting?
Yeah, Rachan, do you want to try reconnecting? Seems
Okay.
Yeah, I think most people can hear you, so yeah, sorry. Oh. Hey, I meant Rachan, but it's okay. Yeah, okay.
Hello, can you hear me right now?
Yeah, Rachan, can you hear Badi?
Okay. So I will share my screen to release the release new comments.
Yeah, in the meantime, you guys got any questions so far? Everything can follow? Like, is it too fast or all good? If you have any questions, just drop in the chat box. Okay, okay, so where were you?
Yeah. So as I said, so we have this as separate letters, and as I said, we always have this, so it is not just for this year, and this is really important. So we don't create something new in layer, but we always have it, so we can animate how it looks. So it is important at least to have it in the step before. So in this, if we want to animate this letters view, we have to have them here in the previous frame at least. So in this frame, if we go in depth a bit, we can see that we have these letters, but notice how we have them. So we try to create this this effect here. Notice how the text will show just letter by letter from the bottom to the top. So we have them here like this, one by one. So we have them here, but they are part of this frame, so they don't appear, of course. And here we have the final state of this. So we move these letters from this state here, for example, the G, from this state to this state. Just, uh, just the vertical placement of G, and so on for each one of them. Please, if you see that I complicate the idea, let me know. I can do process on this. And yeah, so from this stage, we don't have much. What we have is just in the next stage, as always, try to think about this as like two steps, the previous one and the current one. So we have this as a current one. And now if we try to focus on the next step is this one. So let's think of it that this is what we want to achieve and this is the previous one. And now what we're gonna do is this, where the Jordan text goes, it's go to the top and it's fade out. And we show the new text here, the about text. So in this screen, we have this page 3, let's say, and we have this text as you see here. This is what we have here in the bottom. We have it the same, but we scroll the text up or we move it up and we reduce the opacity to 0. So from this 100% to 0 in the next step and the vertical like position. So it will create this full effect that we have in the text. So it is the same that we have here, not here. But here. So this one, we see the text is change the position and fade out. We have this from the bottom. So if we see, we find this come to the screen from the bottom. We have this also here. We have this here as second through text. If we go to this, as always, we have this here. So we have it in the previous one, but in out of frame or out of our vision. Now in this state that we are talking about, the third one, we just move it to the frame that we see, and we move out the Jordan text. Next, what we have is a sample thing. Also, I think it is too much beautiful. We see it a lot in modern neuroscience. The image parallax effect. So parallax effect is based on changing position with multiple in different time. Let's say this image come to this place faster than this one, and this come to this place faster, and this image. So basically what we have here is if we open the stage 4, this is the stage 4. If we open this, we can see our image, our images. Yeah, yeah. So section images, you can see our images here. Also, okay, let's get back to this later. So we can see our images, and from this we have, as always, we always have our layers in this step before the current one. So in the past step, so we have here the images, but the only thing that show the effect is because we don't have them in frame in our vision, so we can't see them, but they are here. And we move to the next step. We can change just the position of our images, and the position is the how fast or the parallax effect created by how fast this move to this position. So if I have, let's say, if I have these two images and I want to create this parallax effect. So if we move them, like if I need this to display, and this is much further. So like this. So if I move this to a bit and this, it's coming to our frame like from, let's say this is our frame, just to make sure that you guys get my idea. So if we move these three elements to our frame, this one, look that it is faster than these two, because it's coming from like a long distance here. This is why they seem like, and they are not they moving not in the same. Oh, Daniel, please help me with that. And I feel that I'm completely thinking. So yeah, so the idea is this. Uh, Moving the layers like a bit faster and to the frame. Okay, yeah. One thing that I want to mention is this. You see, in the state zero, we have the slides. If you remember, this ones to create this the effect. They are just moving the top, so we don't. See, just moving them to the top, and yeah. So this is the next screen. We have in the fifth step of fifth frame. We have the images, but they are out of frame. We have the heading, and we have actually everything that we have for, and from this work to this. So actually what we did is just moving these frames to our view, to our, let's say, moving this images only to our frame so we can see them. It is similar to this, so we can duplicate the same effect of parallax here, but we do it in this way to mimic what we have in the website. After this, yeah, we have a footer, which is simple. So we have just this section go up, and we can see the footer as if it is like the background layer of the entire. Yeah, I think this is what we have. Actually, if anyone has questions, please let me know.
Yeah, any questions, let us know so Badi can answer, and or maybe you need another explanation at any parts, you can also ask. But yeah, so far so good, right? Everyone says that it's okay and they understand and no questions so far. But yeah, it looks really cool. I really like how you did the different height of, how the different rectangles like travel. That's really, really cool. Yeah, your explanation as well for the parallax is spot on.
Okay, I feel that I complicated a bit, but yeah, I think yeah,
That was
just
yeah. So any questions from you guys with the technique? If there are no questions, we would actually really like if you guys can give this a shot and try it out as a challenge for this week. These 2 weeks at least, we will probably try to post up something more formal. But what we're thinking is that you can use and try these techniques out for yourself. And then you try to post it into the design submission channel, and we will pick some of the best ones to share on our social media and tag you guys in the next 2 weeks. So we'll put something out more properly. But yeah, it'll be really fun to see what you guys can do with these techniques that you learn here. Yeah, so any questions at all? even if it's not related to like the exact task here, if you have any like questions, we are open for Q&A. If there's nothing more. But yeah, Buddy, is there anything else you would like to share for your class? Like any further tips that you picked up? Yeah.
So not really. I highly recommend for everyone to try to change himself in like trying to duplicate some sections from also websites out there, some words, websites, from everything. Just trying to experiment on that. I think it's really funny, especially for someone who can't who haven't like the time, the effort to try After Effects. So I think it is really funny to experiment on that in Figma. So I highly recommend that.
That's cool. How long did it take you to do this whole thing?
I don't think it take much. I can't remember actually, but I don't think that maybe 2 to 3 hours.
Oh, that's really fast. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool. How did you get like this idea? Like why his site in particular that you thought would be cool to try?
Yeah, I think as I said in the beginning, I think it is simple. In the same time, it is modern. So it is like the type of website that clear idea. If you notice, we don't explain anything crazy. So just position changing and just some simple things. And if you see the website, it is like great. I guess this is one.
Yeah. So basically it's like it's a very simple technique, but it looks very cool, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that's always like the goal for everything.
Yeah.
Mm.
Cool. So like let's say because like you have a background in development, right? Like do you think that these effects are difficult to achieve in development, or like do you feel that it's actually pretty simple?
Yeah. So my background in development is not that good, but I think it is possible now. The things are possible more than possible in the current technology. So we see some crazy designs, even more complex than this. It is, I think, it's 100%
Mhm.
possible. And yeah, we see crazy 3D designs, everything. I think it is easier now than before
Yeah.
with libraries and
Yeah, that's true. It's like we always get people questioning like, oh, developers are gonna hate this design because it's not gonna be possible, blah blah blah. So it's always very interesting to hear like where do you guys think the possibilities are, and if it's not possible, should we still try or not, you know?
yeah, I think each designer has to think of the development,
Yeah.
but in some way, I think it, everything is easier right now, especially with libraries. So as I said, it's easy to understand for everything.
Yeah. One, Justin asked a random question. How long have you been designing and what's your journey like?
Yeah, so I think I had 4 to 5 years.
Mm.
Uh, it is more like learning and designing at the same time. So I try to do because I don't have degree. I had a master degree in finance, is away far from the design. But my journey was like learning and practicing and doing freelance work. Most of my career is freelancing, so I don't have much experience in full-time job, and I enjoy being free.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is my journey. I try to learn. Like as I said, I didn't enjoy the development, but the design I think is my thing.
Mm. How did you stumble on design though? Like from development, like did you just try it one day or were you recommended? How did you start to even begin trying?
Yeah, I think it is close because I was like learning about practicing development, so I was close to the design world, but to be honest, I can't remember how much I went into design, but I guess sometimes, yeah. I think the point that pushed me to think about design is JavaScript. So I'm not good in math in like in the analyzing parts. So I'm more in the creative side. But I didn't discover that till I moved to Java to try to experiment more on JavaScript. I think it is very technical and too much. So let's move to the design. I think it is more free, more suitable for me at least.
Right. That's interesting. But it's really good that you have like a bit of at least the development side. I think that's really, really helpful. Uh, Another question, I guess this is open to anybody else who wants to also answer because like it's quite open. So Ani sorry if I'm saying it wrong. But yeah, I have a question. I'm a product designer and I have interest in motion design and 3D design with animation. So I'm thinking of learning Blender or Spline tool, but I'm confused about whether I should learn these tools or should I try AI rather than learning these tools. I think that's really good to ask. I don't know. What do you guys think? Like, what do you guys think about utilizing AI for 3D work or actually conceptualizing yourself?
Uh, no, I think it depends. It depends on uh, what you like actually. First, I think there is a tool. I see it yesterday or called Dura. It's a combination between the two of them. So it's a bit of AI and a bit of animation 3D. I think it is special for UI UX, but yeah, I don't know. You might need to take a look on this.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I'm curious to know also what all you guys think. I think Spline is cool, but I'm not expert in this 3D world, so I can't give
Yeah.
my work there.
I think personally also like Buddy said, it really depends also. Like, do you want to learn it because you really enjoy doing it, or you're learning because you have to? Because like if let's say you don't enjoy it, then and it's not like you're trying to figure out a very original or unique concept, then maybe AI can work for now, but there's no harm in learning for sure. It really depends on your ultimate like purpose and goal. But yeah, anyone else has any thoughts, feel free to chime in because like I know it's a very like debatable topic, right? When it comes to like AI and design these days. So yeah, very hard to say. It's kind of like why do we still design on Figma if we can use some AI to do it also? So it really depends. Really, really depends.
Curious to know your
Yeah.
curious to know your thought on this.
Yeah. I
Do you think that in the future will be like less jobs for designers?
yeah. I feel like that's a whole other like topic for another day and like it's just so, like there's just so much right to it. It's such a loaded question. But yeah, great question anyway. But I hope like I don't know whether we answered it at all because it just depends. But yeah, it's great. Thank you for asking. And then Daniel also asked like if we want to convey like an interaction for our website, right? Like just generally for you guys as well, like how like whether a Figma prototype like this is actually enough to show a developer on how to code these interactions, or like do you feel there requires more annotation or an AE or something, like how would we know as designers what is enough for a developer to know to successfully achieve the interaction? Any
Is it for me?
I mean, if you have the answer.
Yeah, I think from my experience, I think we have to share the need of documentation with the design. So let's say if any screen you feel that it needs explanation for the developer, we have to share this upfront. Other than that, I think communication is key. So having communication is what solves this thing. So people can, dev side can ask, we can provide more documentation on any needed situation.
So like when you say documentation, like what does that usually look like? Like is that just an annotation, or like do I have to do a whole Loom video or a call, or like what does documentation usually look like?
Yeah, I think it depends. So if it is simple, I think a note could solve the problem, or even a simple comment in Figma. If it is something complex, we need a long video, or also maybe showing the spacing details, sharing any type of file. We can do it in a real time way, but in general, it depends on the situation.
I see. So as long as like we just don't leave you in the dark, it's fine, right? Like as long as like we try to explain and show like visually like how it's supposed to, what they're trying to achieve, and then also make notes of what they should do, then it should be enough, right? Then it's just hopefully the developer also communicates any problems as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Red Chan also says Figma prototype and little details like easing function duration should work fine for development. So that's very good to know. And let me see. Oh yeah, Justine asked, this is a question to both you, Buddy, and also to Daniel. And if anyone else also wants to chime in, feel free to add it in the chat. But he's asking, is there any game-changing resources or tools that you use daily?
Buddy, go first.
Sorry?
Yeah,
You wanna go first?
you can go ahead. Like any game-changing tools that you use daily.
In terms of what? So, in terms of process of the design, or
Yeah, I think anything, like let's say process or anything that helps you with your workflow, these kind of productivity tools or plugins, just like anything like that you cannot live without today.
yeah, yeah. I think, I think Notion is good for organizing ideas, organizing like work for to-do list. I use it a lot, but I'm not the most organized person in Notion, so I don't over organize my things, but just to the point where I need them. I think tools like items manager is also something that I use a lot. So I don't use icons from separate resources. I have everything in my what we call this tool, hidden icon manager. So in Windows, I think it is also available in iOS, in Mac. Yeah, there is no fancy tools I use. I take a lot of inspiration from Dribble, the words, and I think I have like first 13 minutes or more, maybe 1 hour daily just to exploring and seeing great designs. This is my process, not fancy.
That's cool. What about you, Daniel?
Kind of pretty old school. I use Pinterest a lot in my exploration process. Yeah, sometimes I will go to Dribble and Behance, but after a while, like all the websites kind of look the same. So yeah, if you go through Pinterest, they kind of recommend you stuff that is like, okay, if I were to go looking for websites, it's like they will recommend me like maybe something with similar colors, something with like I don't know, similar patterns or something, and it could be something out of websites, so it's like from there I feel that creativity is just more expandable. So yeah, that's why I like Pinterest. Yeah, other than that, pretty old school. So I kind of use this Chrome plugin called SVG Grabber. So yeah, kind of like a thief when I go to like a website and I see like nice like vectors I can kind of just like take. I will like store them in a folder, and one day I can kind of use it and kind of manipulate from there or something like that. Yeah, because like I realize when it comes to like design, like just creating a vector illustration or vector something, normally that takes up quite some time. So if you have already like a bunch of like vectors in your your resources, then it will be so much more helpful. Yeah, that's one of the things. Yeah, for Ninja. What else? What else do I use anyway?
Plugins.
Plugins.
Figma plugins would be like isometric,
Yeah, isometric.
mockups.
Mockups. Yeah.
Mockup Studio, yeah, that's a good one, but you have to pay for it. But it's really good if you use a lot of mockups.
Yeah, I tried using this export to GIF or video plugin, but it's not really working, so I'm not sure about that. Yeah, that's about it. I don't really use many tools actually.
Yeah. If you guys like
Yeah.
anyone else has like really cool stuff to share, like that'll be really interesting as
Yeah.
well. Like just share the good stuff.
I need to learn more.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions from you guys? If not, we can also wrap up soon, and you guys can go on with the rest of your Friday. Yeah, let's see if there's any more questions. Okay. Okay, Justin wants to know the deets, right? So, what's the worst client story that you have? Okay, I know a lot of you here work freelance, right? Like Badi, for example, you work freelance, right? So like you have a really like spicy client from hell story.
Yeah, spill the tea.
Yeah, I think in the beginning of my career, I worked with one client that is really weird the way how he thought. So he thought with me like a lot of things. So yeah, but it is really fun. So I it's like if you do freelancing too much, you understand that you're interacting with people and there's multiple situations when you have to build this in a good way. And I think this is my worst scenario with this. I have also an experience with one guy that didn't pay. I worked a lot and he didn't pay. But yeah, no like crazy situation.
Interesting. We had one last 2 years ago, I think, and it was bad because they were one of those that like didn't know what they want and didn't want to admit that didn't know what they want, and then they kind of like brought us around a whole giant circle. Like for example, I've tried to like we were supposed to do like a rebranding for them, and then like we did the whole process like the mood board and all that kind of good stuff, right? And then they agreed to everything, and then when we finally like did the first round of concept, they were like, this is not what we want, like it could be better, and then they didn't say how or why. And then when we ask them like, can you explain, they'll be like, oh, but you're the expert, why do I have to explain it to you? And then eventually like we tried some more. We tried to like, okay, let's do a proper like A and B, like tell me, do you prefer A or B? And even after that whole exercise, they still gave us the same thing where like, oh, we still we still don't like it. We still think it can be better. And then when we ask them like, okay, what do you mean by better? Can you tell me what you like and didn't like? They'll be like, I thought you're the expert. Why do I have to answer these questions? Blah, blah, blah. So it was really difficult. And then eventually we had to kind of end that contract. We had to like so-called like fire them because it was just not going nowhere and taking up too much time. So that was a bit of a mess. But yeah. Was it hard to fire them? No. So thankfully, like because they kind of like messed up a lot on their end, like they delayed the project and then they didn't reply on time, and then they also were not able to kind of fulfill their duties as a client. And then additionally, like we have a really good contract, so we eventually could fire them kind of nicely. We gave them a ton of warning as well. So it was a long process. Like I felt like I wanted to die every day. So I'm glad we got to fire them. But yeah, that's kind of one of our fire files.
It is funny because if I had done it work for me for design and they present A or B, I will take them both.
Yeah. Yeah, so it was really bad that like you had to do up to that extent. But always a lesson learned. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, sorry, because I really like Daniel is very talented. So if he presents something, then I should be okay with his options.
I guess not. I guess not to some.
My client, man.
Yeah. But there are some like on our daily life where like they are not bad clients, but like they are just people who don't know what they want. So like we've gotten client feedbacks where it's like, can you make this like it's so cliche, but they literally say like, can you make this button pop? And we're like, how? What do you mean? Yeah, it's really funny, but like but they're nice people, so like it's fine. We'll just laugh about it. But yeah, can you be more creative? That's something we've actually literally heard as well. Like this landing page, like can you make it more creative? So it's all kinds of funny stuff. But yeah, happy to know that we're not alone. Everyone has a funny client story.
By the way, do you have
Yeah.
By the way, do you have any like process to filter this line before signing content? So
Like
yeah.
the only process I would say is during the like the first discovery like call, right? Like let's say the first client meeting, like I usually like just ask them stuff like, oh, what do you look for in a designer? And then like depending on their answer, like that would kind of help me understand what type of person they are. So like it's really hard to also filter, because sometimes in the first call they seem really nice and all that, but later on when you work with them it's not the same. But more often than not, like if I judge it based on whether I think I can be friends with them, then usually like it works out. So I try to go by that theory. It's not a very good filtration process, but yeah, it's kind of just how I use it to gauge a relationship basically. Yeah. Do you guys have a filtration process though? Like anyone? No. Yeah.
No.
It's not easy, but like I think we kind of just learn sometimes from intuition as well. Like you kind of know, when a client is like, when you ask them like, okay, when's the deadline for this? Then they're like, oh, it was yesterday. Then you'll be like, this kind of person. Yeah.
Yeah, I think platforms like Upwork make it easier a bit for me when I'm working with clients inside Upwork.
Yeah.
I can see his rating, everything, feedback from all the projects. So this is what I do better, but nothing
That's
else inside that.
yeah, that's good. Like if you have Upwork like that, then it's good that you can see how they behave and all that. But yeah, most of the time you just hope for the best, like just see how it goes. And have a good contract so you can exit.
That's very important.
Yeah. I mean, we can talk about this like another like a whole day about all these kind of stuff. Like it's just intense sometimes because like you work like let's say you guys freelance or you work mostly on your own, all that, like you face these kind of things and then you have no idea like what to do, right? So you just have to go with the flow. Yeah. Okay. Let's see what Justin is typing and then we can
Maybe for a long time.
yeah. Needs to fix his mic, dude.
Alright.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, if you guys want to chat about more of these things, we have the work discussion for that. So yeah, I think that's it for today. Thank you,
Yeah.
Buddy, so much for taking the time to share your process and your experience building the prototype for the Jordan Gilroy site. And thank you so much to all of you guys for joining and for spending time with us. Yeah, so hope to see you guys in the next session. I think that will be in the next month. We will be talking about the chimpanzee thingy that Daniel did a long time ago. So hope to see you guys then. And we will also post a recording after this. And then also we will share the potential design challenge we want to try and start. So thank you. See you
Thanks,
guys.
guys.
Thank you. Bye
Thank you.
bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Have a good day.